Is this thing working? Here it is Thursday. We're at episode 117. How you doing, Denise?
I'm doing great on this
Awesome.
Thursday. It's great. It's supposed to rain, and though today it's supposed to storm.
Again.
We made the news this morning.
We did?
Lufkin, Texas
Oh,
did.
Lufkin did? Yeah.
Yes, we live in a small town about, 10 miles south of Lufkin, Texas, and we were on Fox News this morning.
Yeah.
Lufkin, Texas is in the path of some severe storms that are
terrible
coming
weather
up
tonight.
today.
Yeah. And mainly, I don't think it's so much that it's the amount of rain and the fact that we've got so much rain in the past couple of weeks. We're 15 inches over normal for this year. We've already had 34 inches of rain in Angelina County this year alone.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and our yards are still flooded. So This is going to get bad, everybody. So just take care and hunker down.
Yep. Be safe. Turn around. Don't drown.
That's exactly right. But today we have on tap, the Weaponization Committee came out strong yesterday. Did y'all see all that happen? It was all over the news. You got some narratives on different stations and all that, but we're going to get into that today. And what can be done about the corruption that's going on in our government institutions. And do you think the Weaponization Committee is really going to do anything about it? But we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah. Are you looking for your next unforgettable experience? Discover and attend the hottest events in your area with Eventbrite. From concerts to conferences, festivals to fundraisers, Eventbrite has it all. With our easy-to-use platform, finding and purchasing tickets is a breeze. Plus, with personalized recommendations based on your interest, you'll never miss out on an event that's perfect for you. Whether you're a seasoned event goer or just looking for something new, Eventbrite connects you with experiences that create memories to last a lifetime. Download the app or visit the website today and start exploring your world with Eventbrite.
And please check out Eventbrite. We thank all of our sponsors for helping to keep the show free. Click on the link in the comments. Thank you.
And also, we have those links posted on all of our social media pages for you. We would love for you to go to our social media page and use the link there.
Before we start the show today, we want to state that these opinions are our own. We say these every single day. So just realize these opinions are our own. If you agree with us, tell your friends and share the show. Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name. Is This Thing Working? Also, you can get to every show and podcast on our website, which is www.is-this-thing-working.com. So check us out. Thank you so much for helping James and I grow.
And also download the Rumble app so you can follow our show. You'll receive instant notifications when we go live every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you very much for all of your support. Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it. What do we do first every single day?
Yep.
Trump watch. So here we go. Cohen returns for the final witness of the prosecution in Trump's New York hush money trial today.
Yeah, Cohen was said to be the star witness in this thing, and he's really been a star witness for the defense. Good Lord, man.
He really has.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all heard yesterday, Michael Cohen's attorney, Robert Costello, he testified in front of the Weaponization Committee yesterday that Cohen didn't believe Stormy Daniels' story.
Yep. That he only paid her to save President Trump's family from embarrassment. That's exactly what he said.
Yes.
If you didn't hear the video, here it is. And this is Representative Armstrong talking to Cohen's attorney, Bob Costello.
Through further cross-examination, Cohen told me that he knew there was money missing from the Trump inauguration.
I see where you are now. Thank you.
Okay. And then on the next page, into that first paragraph, Cohen decided that while he didn't believe the allegation of the Stormy Daniels story, that he thought the story would be embarrassing for Trump and especially for Melania, so he decided he would take care of it himself.
Absolutely. And that is contrary to what this guy testified to in court in New York yesterday.
Well, and what's not being talked about is your next paragraph, like the reason and his motivation for that. So if you could just kind of walk through that for the committee.
Yeah, obviously, when we started to talk about the NDAs, and this is the very first meeting at the Regency Hotel, when, by the way, Rudy Giuliani was not involved in representing Donald Trump at that time. Cohen testified that it was a conspiracy between Giuliani and Costello as of this date. Totally false. In any event,
More lies.
he also said that he didn't discuss the Stormy Daniels matter with us, and he certainly did. I specifically asked him because he kept on going back saying, I can't believe they're trying to put me in jail for these NDAs. So I said, Michael, tell me about the NDA. Tell me about Stormy Daniels. What did you do? He said, I got a call from a lawyer representing Stormy Daniels who represented that she was going to testify that Donald Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen said, I didn't believe the allegation, but I knew that such an allegation would be terribly embarrassing. He said it would be embarrassing. He focused on Melania Trump. He said, I didn't want to embarrass Melania Trump. He said, that's why I decided to take care of this on my own. Right. I went back to that several times. You did this on your own? On my own. Did Donald Trump have anything to do with it? No. Did you get the money from Donald Trump? No. From any of his organizations? No. From anybody connected to Donald Trump? No. Where did you get the money? I took out a HELOC loan against my property. I said, why would you do that? He said, I didn't want anybody to know where I got this money. I didn't want Melania to know. I didn't want my own wife to know because she's in charge, he said, of the Cohen family finances. He said, if she saw money coming out of my account, she'd ask me 100 questions, and I didn't want to answer any of them. It was clear after talking to him for several days after that, whenever we talked on the phone or in my office, that he kept on bringing up the subject that he felt he was betrayed by not being brought down to Washington, D.C. This guy thought, he said to me, that he should have been Attorney General of the United States or at least the chief assistant to the president. Ludicrous, but that's what he thought. And he was very angry about that. He wanted to do something to put himself back into the inner circle of Donald Trump. That's why he took care of this on his own. There had to be a motivation. Michael Cohen is always working for things that benefit himself. And that's what he was doing here. That's completely different to what he said that he told the grand jury. That's completely different to what he's testifying to in New York. Nobody has heard this side of the equation.
Right.
So there you go.
You know, that goes back to something that you have been talking about this whole time that really caught my attention. Cohen did this himself. He mortgaged his property.
Exactly.
And
On the sly.
hardly anybody's talking about that. And then Bob Costello comes out yesterday and reminds everyone, after you've been reminding them for weeks, that Cohen did it himself.
Yeah, and Cohen did testify to that the other day, remember? Because he said that he even had to go and open an account at the bank, and he had to lie to the bank because if the bank knew why he was opening this account, they would never allow it to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, so everything that he has done, you know, he's doing to benefit himself, and everything that he done.
And all he did was bring in his family to use that emotion for, you know, well, look, woe is me. My family wanted me to, you know, totally diss the president of the United States, for that matter. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Cohen was obsessed with President Trump, no matter what you can say. Costello even goes on to say that later, that his obsession just was wild, that he continues to wanted to be in President Trump's orbit. So, yes, he would go and do this. He even said, President Trump said, do you need money? And he said no. Yeah.
And think about this, and what Bob Costello brought out in here was all of the lies, and he come out and he debunked all those lies of Cohen. And the most important thing that he said to me was toward the very end, when he said, Michael Cohen does nothing unless it benefits himself. Okay? Why do you think he's out here doing this now?
He's being paid.
There's got to be
being
something.
offered something.
Yeah.
You know, and he wants to also make money. And he's made money on President Trump's court hearings here. He's made a lot of money on TikTok and all that. Yeah. You know, and President Trump was in court this morning. He showed up. And, of course, every day he shows up and he gives a statement this morning. And there are some Republicans standing behind him. The pictures were kind of blurry and everything. We didn't really understand or see who all was there. We saw Matt Gaetz and we saw Anna Paulina Luna.
And possibly Andy Biggs.
And Andy Biggs, I believe, was standing behind President Trump's head, and I kind of seen President Trump move, and he's there. So I wanted to shout out to the three that I knew who it was.
Yeah.
But listen to President Trump this morning.
Yeah, and just right before we listen to the video, I was just going to point out with you us having trouble trying to figure out who is there. When you looked at the video, I guess with the video light, with the camera lighting and all there, it kind of shines this odd light toward all of them in the background, and it almost looks like a Photoshop. So when we first looked, we did have a hard time trying to figure out who all it was.
We really were, and none of them were moving. They looked like statues.
At the beginning, they
At
were.
the beginning,
yeah.
it was like, wow. So anyway, then finally, I think Anna moved and Matt, blinked his eyes or something.
Began to nod his head a little bit, yeah.
Okay, well, listen to this morning.
It's very unfair. I'd like to be in these various states where I should be campaigning like anybody else. This is a Biden trial. This all comes out of the White House and the Department of Justice. This is all them. In fact, a lead person from the DOJ is running the trial. So Biden's office is running this trial. This trial is a scam, and it's a sham, and it shouldn't happen.
So you hear what he says. The Biden office is running this trial. The weaponization of the government is the point that he's bringing out right here. Continue this message, because the weaponization of the government is real. And what he's saying here is highly justified based on what we found out about Representative Dan Goldman, who was helping to prepare Michael Cohen for this. I mean, really. So
that broke yesterday, and it's huge news. I mean, a representative is
a Democrat representative at that,
coaching
preparing
a witness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were preparing, but coaching. They coached him what to say
in a sham trial against a political opponent.
Well, they started this back when President Trump was still president.
Exactly.
What was that, 2019 that was going on?
Right.
I mean, they have been planning this a long time.
Yep.
And you know what? And I'm going to say this has taken a lot for the Weaponization Committee to actually get to this. And the fact that it happens right when President Trump files to be president, to run for president.
Yep.
And all of these come out. And then all of a sudden, our committees, when the Republicans go into office, they make these committees, and they're going to be important, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. But we have screamed and hollered, the people have, for 3 years to do something about this, because it was even going on beforehand. They were indicting, they were setting up grand juries over and over, all over the country, and no one was saying anything about this.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, we have Maria Bartiromo and we have Steve Bannon, who step up.
And have for quite a long time now.
And this is part of the posse that is behind this. Now, we want you to listen to this video and show you exactly how important these people are to this weaponization committee right here.
Yeah, this is Representative Plaskett, and Jane Zarkle reported on this yesterday, and she said Representative Plaskett gets triggered over Trump sycophant Natalie Winters and the War Room for a tweet calling out the House Judiciary's lack of action.
We're here today simply because Donald Trump's sycophants have been taunting the members of this committee on the GOP side and Judiciary Republicans for not doing anything tangible to defend Trump against our judicial system. Lackeys like Natalie Winters, a Trump loyalist and an executive producer for Steve Bannon's show, have been mocking Chairman Jordan's leadership of the committee openly. As you can see up there, when the House Judiciary tweeted, "Imagine actually believing Michael Cohen," she retweeted and said, "Imagine actually believing at Judiciary GOP will do anything about it."
Can I stop right there and say just one thing? Thank the Lord for free speech.
Yes.
Natalie Winters has every right to come out and criticize the Judiciary Committee because you're not doing anything. Exposing these things, the weaponization, exposing the methods that they've done, exposing the laws that they broke to do these things, exposing the fact that they have trampled on our constitutional rights to get their agendas accomplished.
Yes. And the Biden administration has gone along with the DOJ, the Bragg's office, the New York City, this hush money trial. They have been behind the whole thing. They have gone along and they have committed a man to criminal
charges when there's
no crime whatsoever.
You have to realize this. People, we're living in a police state. Not only do you have the courts doing this to him, bringing him into there, and then not even having a crime that you can even relate or identify, but yet you're still going to sit here and criminalize him and call him a criminal and possibly bring a jury to a decision of whether or not you're going to convict him of a crime that he hasn't even committed.
Just because you don't like him.
Right. And here's my point with bringing that lead into this right here with Miss Plaskett. Do you listen to what she's saying? And she almost sounds disgusted that somebody criticizes the Judiciary Committee for the obvious thing that they're doing, which is exposing crimes, but not really acting on them. So there's never no accountability.
None whatsoever.
And that is what Steve Bannon, Natalie Winters, and the Warroom Posse has been calling out for years now. Accountability by you people.
Yes. I mean, the left continues to run all over their conservative rivals. They've done this for years and years and years, and no one has stood up. They use lawfare for everything, for all of their political opponents. Now they have gone full force to Biden's political opponents, and they know that he can't win. He can't win at all. And the posse, they're going to stand up. And this is what we want. We want you to come with us to be part of the posse. Now, the posse is the American people. I'm just telling you.
Yep.
It's the American people stepping up, calling your representatives, doing exactly what Steve Bannon and Natalie Winters do, call these people out.
That's exactly right. And that's how Representative Plaskett can get by with getting up here and saying this, is because those are the two loudest voices. Those are who we have speaking for all of us. Steve Bannon and Natalie Winters are the main two. You have Bongino, you have others. I love Dan Bongino. But when you talk signal and you talk noise, Bannon brings you the signal every single day. And he harps on that, and he brings that. People, if we just continue to allow just those two voices or those three voices to be the only voice, the other side, they don't care. They can dampen those voices, but people, they can't dampen 81 million voices.
No.
They can't dampen more than that.
And they're trying to. They're trying to dampen 81 million voices by trying to put Steve Bannon in prison. All of a sudden his appeal did not go through, so he's fixing to go to prison. And they think by putting Steve Bannon in prison that Natalie Winters and the War Room and the Posse are going to go away quietly. They are 100% wrong. This is only going to raise our voices higher. Yep. We are going to be screaming. I mean, we're already having Peter Navarro, who's in prison for the exact same thing. We already have the Posse in an uproar about that. Now Steve Bannon is going to prison. Our voice out there is going to prison. Yep. That's not going to go over well.
And here we go. Mainly what we always want is equal justice. At the end of the day, equal justice. That's what we want. If you're going to throw Steve Bannon in jail for contempt of court, if you're going to throw, or contempt of Congress, if you're going to throw Peter Navarro in jail for contempt of Congress, then when you file for the contempt of Congress for Merrick Garland for not releasing the documents that you're asking for in the Robert Hur testimony,
which they just come out and said we got executive privilege, which is what they took away from President Trump, by the way.
Exactly. But if you're not dealing with President Biden over this and the fact that they wouldn't turn it over, then I believe the next step after that is to throw Merrick Garland in prison. That is equal justice under the law. If we're going to play this game with you people, then this is how we have to battle with you people. If lawfare works on one side, brother, lawfare would work on the other side. Shouldn't it? Wouldn't
Agreed.
it? Amen.
Agreed 100%.
Experience the ultimate shipping solution with Easyship. Are you tired of navigating complex logistics and wasting valuable time? Say goodbye to the stress of shipping and hello to simplicity with Easyship. Our intuitive platform allows you to compare rates from leading carriers, schedule pickups with ease, and track your shipments in real time, all in one place. Whether you're a small business owner looking to optimize your shipping process or an individual sending a gift to a loved one, Easyship has you covered. Our user-friendly interface puts the power of efficient shipping at your fingertips, saving you time and money. Don't let shipping challenges hold you back. Try Easyship today and discover a new level of convenience and reliability. Visit easyship.com now to get started.
Click the link below. This goes back to what we learned yesterday. You know, this weaponization, of course,
Yep.
that we talked about. And then yesterday on our show, we talked about another weaponization with the NGOs.
Yes.
How they're using the NGOs to just,
We've talked about how the NGOs are set up, how the NGOs were funded.
who is funding the money?
Exactly. Who is funding it? Who is allocating it to all of these? We also learned that too. We learned through that the NGOs are basically set up to facilitate the trafficking of illegal immigrants to cross our border. We also learned that the NGOs are there to facilitate the access to voting. We also learned that they're there to facilitate the movement of these illegal immigrants all over the country as a replacement theory to change electoral votes. We learned every bit of that.
Well, last night we learned it goes even deeper than that. Kyle Becker on X put out this study, man. Y'all need to go look this. I posted this on all my social media. It's under Kyle Becker, and it's a study. It says 10 to 27% of non-citizens are illegally registered to vote in the United States. A new study shows that due to there being around 30 million non-citizens in the U.S., more than enough to sway elections decided by thousands of votes. American elections are being illegally and illegitimately decided. In 2014, the academic journal Electoral Studies published a groundbreaking study by 3 scholars who estimated how frequently non-citizens were illegally voting.
Yeah, here's the most mind-blowing thing. Based on data for the 2008 presidential and congressional elections, the study found that roughly 1/4 of non-citizens in the U.S. were likely registered to vote. There's 25% that falls within the study parameters. 6.4% of non-citizens actually voted. 81.8% of them reported voting for Barack Obama. Illegal votes cast by non-citizens likely changed important election outcomes in favor of the Democrats, including electoral college votes and a pivotal U.S. Senate race that enabled Democrats to pass Obamacare.
The most failed, and I'm going to say this again, failed health insurance that has ever come across the United States of America.
It's ever hit the marketplace.
I am telling you, you pay more for insurance now than you ever have in the history of insurances here in America. It is awful insurance. The hospitals,
It's awful.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally only about keeping,
money.
I mean, you have to go every year and get a physical. It's all about physicals, and that's it. And labs.
Yeah,
and
other than that, it doesn't cover a whole lot.
It doesn't cover a whole lot, not without you paying for it.
Yeah, and the deductibles on most of them are they're ridiculously high.
But the Democrats, it would seem, has been doing this for years. There's a national survey in which 14.8% of non-citizens admitted they were registered to vote. There's a database of registered voters that reveals what portion of the surveyed non-citizens were in fact registered, even though they claim not to be registered. Just Facts used an enhanced version of the 2014 electoral studies methodology to find that roughly 10 to 27% of non-citizen adults in the U.S. are now registered to vote as of 2022. So that tells you right there, folks, they've been cheating our elections all the way back to the Obama administration. All the way that far. And, me and James were talking about this morning because that's really when we really started paying attention, like really bad.
When Barack
Obama won.
Especially, man, because, and I know a lot of us back then, when you look back now and you see how that went down, you see who truly, in my opinion, should have been the Democrat front runner, which was Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton had the base. Her and Bernie pretty much have had that base since 2008. But what I'm going back to, you sit there and you watch it and you go, man, that Hillary's a shoe-in for that. Hillary's a shoe-in for that. And the next thing you know, they start pushing Barack Obama out here in the front. And then after that, all of a sudden, he's the nominee and he can't do anything wrong. And the pedestal that they threw him up on and all the crap that he talked and all the divisive talk that he put out there. And if you looked at it even back then, you could go, man, you're dividing people. You're the one separating race. You're the one separating classes. You're the one campaigning on those very things. How can Americans, knowing what we know about America, listen to this? And don't forget his affiliation with the Reverend Jeremiah Wright. You can't forget about that.
No.
And Sean Hannity brought that out. You remember all that? My point with that is, I didn't vote for Barack Obama. I knew not hardly anybody in my circle that voted for Barack Obama.
I know.
And not only that, the popularity of him, the whole thing to me began to go, man, this ain't right.
Yes. That's when we really started noticing that there was something going on with our elections, because nobody that we talked to, and we know a lot of people, and we know Democrats as well, and they did not vote for him.
And just like with the NGOs, like we said yesterday, how they name them in these real pretty names and they dress them up and they sound real noble. And probably the mission or the responsibilities they tell us that they're doing do sound noble. So we've always took it at face value. The American Red Cross does a lot of good things for people, you know.
Yes.
Wow, Hebrew Immigration Aid Society, that sounds like a neat and noble cause, but yet what they're doing was corrupt. What they were doing
is the opposite of
everything they say they're doing.
That is how the Democrats play. And it is so great to see it's all finally coming out. Obama's criminality is finally coming out. And I'm just going to say it's the Democrats. The Democrats on the left have totally taken over the country. They've broken every single rules that we have. And they continue to say, well, we got to follow the laws. We got to follow the laws. But they don't follow the laws at all.
Right. We'll close with this thought right here. We see the House Judiciary Committee and the Weaponization Committee coming out and exposing all of this stuff right here. Representative Plaskett likes it or not, we all have every right to question what you're going to do next.
Yes.
Is this thing working?
Rise up.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.